What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Casual Cash. Let's cut right to the chase. Today in this video, we're going to be analyzing 4 of Coronation Fund Manager's top funds that you can buy on Easy Equities, the pros and cons, breaking down what they're made up of and their financial performance. And at the end of the video, we'll be putting 20,000 Rand into one of their funds here live and in real time. So stay up until the end, strap yourselves in, and let's get started. So it occurred to me on this episode that I don't think I've ever mentioned my own personal goal in my investing journey. We all invest for a reason, whether it's a new watch or a new car, maybe to travel the world, to invest for your kids' schooling, or to put down a deposit for your first house. All of those are great goals, and my eventual investment goal as an individual is financial freedom. You can call it retirement, but basically where my income for the year is more than my expenses for the year, and that means I can choose where and how I want to spend my time. So there you have it, my personal investing goal. But in order to get to that point, typically your portfolio requires a combination of capital growth and passive income. Last year, we saw great capital growth in the markets, and this year I had decided that it was time to start implementing a plan for my portfolio. Yes, the main plan is always to make money, but as Pablo Picasso once said, our goals can only be reached through the vehicle of a plan. There is no other route to success. So I have been engineering a portfolio allocation and balance that will set me up for long-term success to achieve my goals. This will include a mix of capital growth assets, income-producing assets, stable investments, and a few high-risk companies. But I'll be breaking that down in detail here on the channel. So if you're not already, subscribe to the channel to see that coming up. But the one thing that I do need is to allocate some money to diversified long-term investments with good income generation and medium capital growth. That brings us to today's episode, and Coronation Fund Managers will be breaking down their 4 main funds you can buy on Easy Equities and putting 20,000 Rand into the best fund for our goals at the end of this video. So let's get going. Alright, as always, let's start at the beginning. Coronation Fund Managers was founded in 1993 in Cape Town, South Africa. It was started by a group of investment professionals who at the time decided to leave Seafret's managed assets owned by Nedbank. Now, at the time, Nedbank didn't offer any profit share incentives to their staff, so a group of 15 people left to start Coronation, where each member had a share in their funds, meaning more motivation for staff to provide better results. And since then, starting with 0 Rand and 0 clients, Coronation has won multiple awards, including the Morningstar Larger Fund Award, 4 years running, and currently manages over 662 billion Rand in assets. Now, as it relates to us as investors, Coronation provides 4 main unit trusts in Easy Equities, and each of these has a specific purpose. Those 4 unit trusts are the Balance Plus, which aims to achieve the best possible investment growth for retirement savers over the long term, the SA Equity Fund, aiming to achieve the best possible long-term growth from investing in South African shares, the Strategic Income, aiming to achieve a higher return than a traditional money market or pure income fund, and the Top 20 Fund, which they say aims to outperform the equity market over the long term. Now, to save a bit of time, I'm going to put all the main funds information on this screen here, and feel free to pause the video if you want to read through anything in particular. Also, all this information is on their website, but I'm going to go through what I look at and what matters to my portfolio. There are 2 main things I look at. Like I said before, capital growth and income generation. First, let's look at capital growth, which means the performance of the funds. Now, what I've done here is put together the annualized returns for each individual fund for as long as it's been operating. Annualized means the return you get on a yearly basis, not the total. So if I turn 100 Rand into 115 Rand over 3 years, my return is 15%, but my annualized return is around 5 Rand a year or 5%. So simply, the return you can expect averaged over a year. So 3 of these funds have operated over 20 years and SA Equity has operated for 7 years. Now I've highlighted which fund has the highest returns for the given period, and then to give a simple overview I've put the average annualized returns at the bottom, and in order ascending we have Strategic Income at 7.85%, Balance Plus at 12.13%, the top 20 at 14.43%, and at the top is SA Equity Fund at 16.4%. But I don't think that number is totally reliable because it has a very high 1 year, which isn't fully representative. But either way, all of them have a pretty decent return that I don't think can be seen as bad in any way. The only thing to keep in mind is that so far the SA Equity Fund is the only one to have performed below its market index, which means below the benchmark the fund managers were going for, but not bad nonetheless. Alright, next up let's take a look at dividend distributions, which is the income that you see paid into your bank account each year. So here you can see I put together the dividend income from each fund over the last year. Now these are the actual dividends for the last year, but obviously it may change in the future, but probably gives a good indication. So again, from bottom to top, we have the top 20 with 2.5%, the Balance Plus with 3.5%, the SA Equity Fund with 4%, and at the top, the Strategic Income Fund with 6%. Okay, so my final review before we pick one to buy is that I think all of them are decently good funds, but each will depend on the level of risk you want for your portfolio and the income that you're looking for. Based on the numbers, here it seems that the lowest risk and highest income is the Strategic Income Fund, and Coronation themselves have given it a risk rating of 2 out of 10. Next is the Balance Plus with a risk rating of 6 out of 10, and then both the top 20 and SA Equity is a risk rating of 8 out of 10. But as you can see on the 10-year performance, the higher risk ratings have the higher returns, and vice versa, but that is over 10 years, and you won't necessarily see those returns in just 1 year, so keep that in mind. Alright, so I've made my decision, and my portfolio is looking for some income, generating and medium growth assets, so I'm going to be buying into the Strategic Income Unit Trust. So let's go on Easy Equities to invest now, then down to Unit Trusts, and if we click on Income Funds, we can see it there, Coronation Strategic Income. Now we're going to go down and we're going to purchase 20,000 Rand of the Income Fund. Right, and that's it. There are no fees because it's a unit trust, and usually it takes a day or two for the order to go through. We should then be receiving about 100 Rand a month, but it's paid out quarterly, so around 300 Rand every 3 months for the rest of your life. And should be growing every year, by the way. But that's it for today's episode. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the information, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to see the video on how we will be building our portfolio and working towards financial freedom. We're also going to look at some growth stocks and speculative companies in the time to come. But until then, I'll see you guys next time on Casual Cash. Cheers.